How's everybody doing? Well, I hope you guys like part one, and hopefully you'll like part two. I don't know if it's too if you guys can see the thing. It might be too light. It seems a little bit opaque. Well, anyway, I'm gonna be discussing part two about relationships, okay, and what to do about them, how to heal, okay. So let's jump right in and discuss it. All right. Well, oh yes, this is my new getup. Okay, right? I hope you like it. Well, I don't know if I can give you a shoe cam. I'm trying to give a shoe cam. You know. No, I couldn't look. I couldn't look. You know. There you go. All right. So, understand. Let me bring this over here, and then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do Rome for you. This is the gift that I have to offer you guys. I'm gonna do Rome for you. Okay? Are these little things here? It's Halloween. These are little skeletons, you know. Santa Muerte. Okay? I cannot see your comments. I have to like lean over and press it to look at the comments, because the tablet works differently than my desktop back in New York. Let's see. Live chat. Happy birthday! If you're dreaming about someone, they're dreaming about you. Yes, that is true. This new setup looks dope. Oh, thank you. If you're dreaming about somebody or they're dreaming about you, they're thinking about you. This is mental telepathy occurring to the milky ethers of water. That belongs to Cancer, the cardinal water. All right. Oh, my Merlot. No, you gotta keep it classy. Now, again, this is very Libra. This dress up, very metrosexual. For the single lifestyle. And in a hedonistic environment like Las Vegas. Well, what you do in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas. Okay. Let's discuss the concept of a relationship what makes a relationship break up so painful? Well, number one, betrayal. Betrayal. Betrayal is probably the number one cause of most painful breakups. So how do you deal with betrayal? Well, there are different types of betrayals. Which betrayal did you go through which made the relationship breakup for you that much more painful and severe? So that's the first thing. I identify the level of what betrayal and then the level of that betrayal. Because the level of that betrayal will dictate the magnitude of pain that you're going to feel based on the magnitude of that betrayal. These things have to be quantified before we can psychologically and emotionally resolve them. We need to understand the weights and measures of what we've been through and how to offset it in equal proportion to the pain that it had caused. These are proportional relationships, like a test tube in a chemistry lab. They're variables. Tito Rodriguez, my Tito. Oh yes, relationships can be very difficult to like I said, relationships of all types are always going to be difficult. The question is, how do you handle them? If you don't know how to handle it, oh my God, then how are you going to be able to move forward? How are you going to be able to find a way to find a resolution within yourself to move forward? This is something that doesn't happen overnight, and it's something that takes time for it to occur. No. Sure. Some cheese. Oh, I love provolone and monster cheese. Goes wonderful with Merlot. And of course, don't forget, I got my spliff. Let me tell you, there's a place here, because you know, weed is illegal here. There's a place called Planet 13. And I got the weed. Oh my God. Listen, I don't even cough. I don't even cough. It's amazing. Okay. What kind of betrayals are we talking about? Well, you have emotional betrayal is one. Then you have physical betrayal. And then you have moral betrayal. Well, I was going to add ethical, but ethical can fall under moral. It can overlap. There is a distinct difference, not linear, but more or less. I'll put it there. Betrayal concerning dignity. Betrayal in dignity is what's called indignity. So there could be more, but I isolated the major biggies. Okay, the major biggies, and the major biggies. Let me tell you, is enough to kill a motherfucker or a bitch. Oh wait, Congo Sahara. Oh yeah, that this song reminds me of the Earth Goddess back in Florida. I hear she's doing well. But that's another experience. And you take some of these experiences with you. And listen, understand that life is only but a vapor that can dissipate, and then life is over. Like it says in the Bible, you know, a lifetime is like a vapor, and it dissipates, and then it's gone. So the best thing that we can do before that vapor pervades and goes and disappears into the moisture atmosphere is to look at it for what it was and enjoy the experience of that vapor before it pervades. So that's a good way at looking at relationships. My relationship in Florida was a wonderful experience when it happened, but then it pervaded. Here, in a 10-year longer relationship, it may be a cloud or a fog, but even clouds and fogs over time pervades and dissipates. It's just a longer duration of experience than just a vapor. Both award different grades of experiences. Not one is less than the other. They're both equally great because you can learn a lot. When there is a position between two people that the outcome is a learning experience, whether it's painful or pleasant, it is still an experience. And it's an experience worth going through if it awards us another level in our evolution of growth and learning. Not all relationships are going to be blissful. Some relationships will be downright painful, infathomable. But yet, that is or that might be the necessary energy that will require the fundamental changes to occur in the person to allow them to evolve further. You know, when you meet a relationship like this, and I talk about it in my sadomasochist series, you know, but I don't go into the details of the mourning process because when the relationship is over, it is like a death. It is like a death, and you have to mourn that relationship, just like you mourn the death of someone that physically died. You have to go through a transition where you have to mourn that loss because there was a value inherent in that experience that now you no longer will have with that person. They've crossed over. That's an experience that now you're not going to have again. It's a unique loss when we experience a death of a loved ones because we're not going to re-experience them again. So the same thing in a relationship. When a relationship is over, finally over, and it should be broken, people should part ways. You're not mourning him or mourning her per se, but you're mourning the benefits of what it was to be with that person. Or, you know, the benefits could have been material, or the benefits could have been emotional, or just to have a simple companion to talk to cuddle with. You know, when these things are removed, it causes a disruption in your continuity. And, you know, we are creatures of habit. A relationship is an established cycle of habits that are happening with two people at the same time. It's not always an easy coalescence. It often ends up in collisions. But that collision between partners and that transmutation of experiencing each other is necessary for the individual of each of you to grow and for the relationship itself to also grow. So it doesn't get stagnant. Some relationships are tempestuous and are stormy, but that becomes the engine and the fuel to keep the relationship and both parties involved and plugged in. And this has a lot to do with how they mirror their relationship with their parents, with each other. Are they going to learn the same values and then follow it, or are they going to separate and adapt to different values? Here we see where there may be a shift or a difference in values of each of the people involved. Well, as we get older and we grow older, those values might change. And if those values change, that's going to affect the relationship. Values change as we change and grow and evolve. How could it not? That's how people grow out of each other or grow into each other. Oh, está soñando despierto. Oye, the beat. Dime lo siento, no te equivoques. You know me and my music, baby. No, music is a great way to off-throw some of the blows that life throws at you. Personally, I look and feel so much better. Yes, I had to go through my mourning process. Maybe not of the person, but of the relationship. A lot of you have seen me go all over the world with this partner. Now I'm doing it by myself. Of course that's going to affect me, and it's affecting him too. But these are things that are necessary for the relationship to go another level. Even if it means that we have to go separately. It's part of the evolution. Oh, yes. I wish I can find a place to go out dancing with my lady friend that who's hosting me here, but a Scorpio, of course. But everything is closed. It's a ghost town here. Bow, bow. It's a ghost town. This wood is so good. All I got is a little poof, 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 and I'm good. I would say that emotional betrayal is probably one of the most difficult experiences to go through when you are, when you're going through something like this. How do you handle it? Well, fucking go weird. I didn't cough once, not once. It pays to get the good shit. Too bad I had to fly 3,000 miles at a 6-hour flight to get it. And I can't take it with me. It sucks. But it's good. Understand that karma is a bitch. And we cannot talk about human relationships if we don't bring about karma into the picture. Understand that karma is a bitch. And karma plays itself out in interpersonal relationships. When you're with a partner, you best believe, you best believe that there's a karmic relationship between you and that person. Otherwise, you guys will have never have met. Life has already set you up to succeed and to fail all at once. The end result of your union is to absolve the karma that you guys have together, bringing with you again. It's important to understand the basis of human suffering. If you talk to a sociologist or a social worker, or even an anthropologist, they'll tell you that the human condition is based on a bedrock of interactive experiences, which, just like an atom and its electron and protons and neutrons, they react with other atoms to create bigger atoms to create other structures. It is an interrelationship dynamic that occurs between atoms and cells. Not that much different between human beings and how they interact with each other's norms, attitudes, and belief systems that come into the relationship. These variables can become constants, or they could become givens during the intercourse of the relationship. But these values can also change on you and flip on you. When that happens, that's going to alter then the course of the relationship. Either you become strongly connected to the person, or you begin to drift apart. And that is, and then here comes the other part of the pain. That this is a natural process. It's like an open system within a closed system. But it's still an open system because it feeds another system that you and I even know if there's an interplay going on. So it doesn't matter where the moon is. This conversation has nothing to do really with astrology at all. Thank you. You look good today. How is it? That's that video they did on me. You look good today. Yeah, I like to believe I look good every day. But yeah, it's delicious. How is it? It looks fucking it's fucking delicious. And thank you. I feel perfect. Yes, I've been through the worst in my breakup. But now I just spoke to my Emery, culturally, the relationship has evolved to another level. And that's how you want it to happen between someone who's 53 and someone who's plus 60. That is how it should be handled. It should not be handled with immaturity, regret, or anger. If this is still the issue, then there are issues that are still not resolved. And then here's the other part that can be equally painful, is that it might not be resolved. There might not be resolution. In a situation like that, then you will have to go towards your higher power and release it to your higher power and allow your higher power to take over and handle it. To take it out from you and allow the higher power to handle it for you. And that's how you get through it. Emotional betrayal is bad because there's an investment that takes place when you are emotionally involved with someone. Understand that the reason why emotional betrayal is so painful is because the person has invested into the relationship. Usually women. Women are the ones that emotionally invest in a relationship, not so much the men. Even and what's interesting is that in gay relationships, you see the same dynamic as you see in straight relationships. Emotional investment is the cornerstone to a relationship to go from something lustful to something serious. If it's just about physical bodies interplaying and fluids with each other, with no emotional investment, then it's just a booty call. No? But when there's an emotional investment in the partner, then it gets serious. And that's what happened. Someone did not invest emotionally and somebody else did, and now that changed the dynamics of the relationship. And both of us could be at fault with this, and that allowed a third party to get in and then take over the other person who was lacking that emotional investment. Yeah, and that takes courage to admit. But if you are to honestly move forward, you have to look at the role that you played in allowing that interplay to occur in the first place. And it's important to take a look at that, because that mistake could be repeated in the next relationship if you don't confront it now. So, relationships are a brutal way for you to look at yourself very honestly. But you can also hide yourself in a relationship. And then when it breaks off, you feel like a part of you is gone with the other person. No, you just hid behind another personality, never allowing yourself to be invested and connected with that other person. So now when there's a breakup, you feel like someone took something from you when you actually did not give anything. And what you're feeling is the opposite void, vacuum, of what you did not invest, that somebody else now did in your stead, and now you're locked out. We all have gone through these experiences. The question is, do we learn from it and do we put the stop button on it so it doesn't occur again? Because then that also shows the level of maturity that you are either lacking or that you should develop So when you go through relationship breakups, it's very, very important to look at the situation honestly. And that's not something that could happen right away. You might have to detach yourself from the problem. Look what I did. I took a trip to Vegas, I'm here in Vegas. I had to stay away and claim clarity and objectivity, and the person did too. He took a trip to Vegas also when I was in Florida. We did a flip thing. Now we both needed to get away from each other to look at things objectively and then come back and decide, well, this is what we're going to do as grown men. And it doesn't have to be men, could be women, men, because the dynamics are the same. They're the same, whether it's gay, straight, bisexual, whatever. These are the same. Any relationship psychologist or psychotherapist will tell you the same thing I'm telling you, because this is very clinical. So if you look at relationships within that context and you can dissect them and identify the role that you played in the relationship, the breakup should not be that painful, but consequential. Nonetheless, it is painful to go through these experiences, but more painful are they when there's no support or understanding why you are going through what you're going through. Guys, donate www.paypal.me/thepeoplesastrologer so I can continue, doing some videos for you guys and maintaining this channel. Guys, thank you very much. If you want any readings, you can call for readings. And if you are in the Las Vegas area, I'm staying at Caesar's Palace, and I will be leaving at some point this evening. I check out in the afternoon, and then I'll be in the premises. I might stay a little longer. It depends on your donations. So, guys, thank you as we get ready to go to part 3. And I will be finishing the series on Chiron in Aquarius and in Pisces. All right, guys.